From Studio 3C in Rockefeller Center, this is News 4 New York.
Finally at 5, in the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy, interest has picked up in a peculiar field of science called weather modification.
Since the 1960s, scientists have experimented with ways to stop hurricanes in their tracks. And as Chris Glorioso reports, one local oceanographer thinks his invention could kill a hurricane before it makes landfall.
It is an exotic idea, but given all of the homes that were thrashed by Sandy, a lot of folks are wondering, would it be possible to dissolve the next superstorm way out there in the ocean? One man thinks hurricanes can be killed, and he's not the only one dreaming up ideas to prevent the next catastrophe.
You're looking at a high-tech Hoboken wave pool. Today, engineers are using the water to test a secret marine drone that will one day spy on enemy submarines. For Dr. Alan Blumberg, the enemy is a lot bigger than a submarine. For him, the enemy is the next superstorm.
Sandy was a big event, probably 1 in 300 years, but I bet you there's more coming.
At Hoboken's Stevens Institute of Technology, Blumberg says he has found a way to kill the next Sandy before it makes landfall. And the idea is right here in this tube.
Given a certain wave energy.
It is a model pump Blumberg says could be dropped into the ocean by the hundreds of thousands. They would use energy of the waves to draw cold water from the bottom of the sea to the ocean surface. That chilly water would theoretically diminish a hurricane. It would be expensive, but nothing compared to Sandy's estimated $50 billion in damage.
One event would probably cost you $300 million, but you'd stop the hurricane.
Cold water pumps may be the latest weather modification idea, but not the first.
Project Storm Fury, a joint effort.
Scientists have dreamed of towing icebergs into storm paths. In the 1960s, the U.S. government used planes to drop chemicals inside hurricanes. Results were inconclusive.
This is Staten Island. Now, how do you protect this?
While exotic hurricane-killing strategies may be fascinating, even promising, NYU Poly civil engineering professor Bud Griffiths says we're better off plugging our tunnels with watertight seals and floodproofing our electrical lines.
We lose power now in this region routinely with small thunderstorms. It might be an opportunity now to go to the outer boroughs and put those electrical distribution lines underground.
Perhaps the least expensive way to minimize a hurricane's human toll is to get better at moving people.
I was very disappointed and heartbroken when I saw those people who didn't evacuate. It never happened before. I'll take my chances. We all say that, but please trust the scientists.
City Council Speaker and mayoral hopeful Christine Quinn has called for a range of flood protection options in the wake of Sandy. They include forcing electrical utilities to bury their wires underground and the much more expensive option of putting a storm surge barrier out there that would cost up to $16 billion. Professor Alan Blumberg says his idea for that cold water pump, that needs more study, but he says ultimately it would be much less expensive. Reporting from the newsroom, Chris Glorioso, News 4 New York.
A lot up for discussion there. Thanks, Chris.